G'day avocado enthusiasts and welcome back to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. On this channel I like to do all kinds of things with avocados, avocado trees and avocado seeds, and this video is no different. I have started germinating on this channel avocado seeds in a number of different ways. I have germinated them in water with toothpicks, I've germinated them in a fish tank, I've germinated them in plastic bags with paper towel, germinated them straight in soil. We did a big experiment about that. And today I'm going to try germinating them in a jar. There are three things that seeds generally need to germinate, and that is heat, water, and oxygen. I'm confident I can provide those three things with a jar and a couple of other bits and pieces. So, what am I going to do? So first, I don't think just putting the avocado seeds in the jar with some water is going to do much. I would love to try at some point, but I'm not doing that today. I'm not confident that that will be successful. Instead, I'm going to have a media of some kind in the jar. So I'm using this jar here. It has a lid which will clamp shut, so we get a good seal. I am not sure if there's a benefit to having a seal. I know the plastic bags that we were using were sealed and that didn't cause any problems. So we're going to try it with a seal that should keep the heat in. It's winter here in Australia at the moment, so it's not super warm. So keeping the lid on should keep some of the heat inside. A bit of a greenhouse effect. We'll see how that goes though. And I'm using this fairly large jar because I'm using two seeds, but I'm sure I could probably pack in lots more. This just seemed to be a good fit for the one that I had today, and I didn't have any smaller ones. So I'm going to fill this one with, well, not fill it, I'm going to put some coconut peat in here. So I've got this one here. It's dehydrated at the moment, and we will need to rehydrate it in just a moment, which is what the water is here for. So I'm just going to pop some of the coconut peat in there. It does expand quite a lot, so I don't need to use too much, I don't think. In fact, I'm not even sure if I'm going to need to use this much, but we'll give it a go. And I'm going to add some water. And now we'll give it a few minutes to soak it up. We'll make sure it's all kind of submerged in there. There's a little more water, not too much though, nearly done. It's had a few minutes now to soak up that moisture, so we are ready to add some seeds. I'm just going to kind of like partially submerge them so that they've got their heads sticking up, and we'll be able to monitor them really easily from there. Kind of place them in there. It is quite moist in there, that's okay. Maybe too much water. I might leave it open for a bit to kind of dry out a touch. They're swimming a little bit at the moment. And that is pretty well it for this part of the video. I am now going to close it up, and we are going to pop it on a shelf, and it'll get a bit of sun this time of year. That'll be fine because it's not very strong because we're in winter. And yeah, we'll check back in and see what's happened as we've got some updates. Avocado enthusiasts, it's now been 4 months since we put the avocado seeds in the jar with the coconut coir. Let's go and see what we've got. Okay, interesting. So, now I know that one of them definitely started growing quite a while ago. It has got some great roots coming out the bottom, and you can see that it has got a baby tree. The other one, the coloring looks pretty good, so I don't think it's dead. I'm not sure yet if it has any roots. Let's open it up and see what we've got. I'm going to use this mat here just to catch anything if it falls out, because I don't want to make a mess all over my floor if I can avoid it. Now it looks like there's a bit of mold going on in there, so I'm just gonna be careful. You know, I've got windows open, there's good airflow in this room, and I'm wearing gloves. If I weren't filming this, I would probably wear a mask while I did this, but it's not helpful on video, and I think I will be okay. But I'm going to open it up and take a look inside. Yep, so one has definitely started growing there, and the other one, we're not sure yet. So let's pull it out and see what we can see. Because one has quite comfortably germinated, I'm not exactly sure, how easy it's going to be to pull out. So we'll start with the one that has not got much of a root system. Okay, so this one, okay, so it started cracking open. The coloring tells me that it's not dead. We've got the seed itself is a creamy color. It's not decaying, which tells me that the rest of the plant, what's inside here, is just one plant, which is great. So I'm gonna do my best to take it out, and we'll see if we can do it without disrupting too much of this. I mean, I'm gonna disrupt it anyway because it's not gonna grow in this medium forever because it's not ideal for the plant long term. Very nutritionally poor and really holds water very well. Got a long-handled spoon, which I'm gonna use as a bit of a trowel to do some digging. You remember those dinosaur bone kits that came in the plaster and you had to chisel away at them and it revealed a skeleton that you could eventually put together? This feels a bit like one of those, only I'm not digging for fossils, I'm digging for avocado roots. Because what we know is that once you have an avocado tree growing, you don't want to prune the roots or break the roots because it stunts its growth. We found that out when we were growing avocado trees in fish tanks, and we did a little test on one of them. It went about as well as you would expect when you prune roots. It stopped growing. There's a link to that video in the description below. Okay, we've got movement. Let's see what we can pull out here. A lovely little avocado plant. I'm really going to disrupt it. Now, thinking about best practice, if we're going to use this method, I think pulling it out well before it gets to this point is probably going to be ideal. This one has started cracking just. I reckon I could probably plant, I could plant it at any time. I'm gonna put this one back in the coconut coir though, and this one I'm going to pot up into my regular potting mix. Now I'm gonna totally freak it out here because plants don't love to have their roots messed around with too much, but that's a really nice looking root ball. Like it's really like the taproot has very clearly grown in a particular direction because it hit the base of the jar itself. But the roots themselves are looking great. I may as well continue this. I'm gonna put all my coconut coir back in. It's all still very damp, so I'm not gonna do anything else but put the other avocado seed back in there, right in the middle, why not? Close it back up again and put it back on the shelf. But this one will absolutely need potting up. I'm really happy with that. That's worked brilliantly actually. It took about 4 months to get to this point, but it started germinating long before then because we've already got a tree with roots. So I need to now pot it up. Generally speaking, I like to pick a pot that isn't much bigger than the root ball. So I've got this, this is a 100mm pot, both in height and in diameter. So I reckon that's gonna be the best fit. The roots are not gonna quite make it to the bottom. If I fully bury the seed, they will, almost. And the goal over the next year will be that this will fill the pot with roots and then we'll be able to upsize it next time round. Check out my video on pot sizes in the description below, but when potting it up for the first time, not much bigger than the root ball. It will fill the pot eventually, but we don't want to have big sections that are unfilled. So I'm going to need to very carefully put potting mix in here so that I don't damage the roots. Put a bit of a base there. Just rest it there and then backfill. Using my regular potting mix today, it's about 2 parts perlite, 1 part coconut peat and 1 part cheap potting mix with some slow release fertilizer mixed in there for good measure. Marvelous. So there we have it. I probably should have potted up earlier, as I already said. It's gonna take some time now to adjust to being out in the open. It's still very young. I don't think that's gonna be a huge problem for it, but this is a super humid environment, about 100% humidity in there and out in the open. It's between 50 and 60% in this room. So that's gonna take a bit of time to adjust. I'm gonna give this a really good water now. I'll put it actually fairly close to where this one was just to do it. That's that though. I'm really happy that this method clearly has worked. So, not a surprise. We know that the 3 things that most seeds need to germinate is heat, oxygen, and water. And all of those things are present in here. Perhaps not as much oxygen. I mean, there's not much going on in here, so the amount of oxygen actually shouldn't change. But the heat of the jar is certainly helping here. Is it faster than other methods? I'm not sure. We didn't test them head to head. You know, is it better than the plastic bag and paper towel method? I'm not sure. I reckon it's faster than the water and toothpick method. Is it faster than just putting it straight in the ground? Again, it's hard to tell. I didn't do a side-by-side comparison. That might be for another day, but we did show that you can absolutely germinate avocado seeds in coconut coir in a jar. The jar method, we might call this one, works. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. I hope that you were inspired to try things. If you want to see me try germinating avocado seeds in anything else, please leave it in the comments below. And if you have tried an unusual or unconventional way of germinating your avocado seeds, or any other seeds for that matter, these are just big ones, feel free to put it in the comments below as well. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more of me, make sure you subscribe to Scott Grows an Avocado Tree first of all. I'm also on Instagram at Scott Grows an Avocado Tree. But if you want to see more of my stuff where I'm just making general videos on all kinds of topics, I am available on That's Pretty Cool, which is my second channel, which I make videos on all kinds of things from flamingos to silo art to clocks and the moon and waterfalls. And we have a lot of fun. So I really would appreciate it if you go and check that out if you haven't done so already. But that's where I'll leave it today. Thank you so much for joining me, avocado enthusiasts. I've had a bit of fun. I like, trying things out, pushing the limits and seeing what we can do with avocado seeds. So thank you once again for watching. Take care and we'll see you next time.
Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree. Scott grows an avocado tree.